Coming in hot off the Batman #1 review episode. We're going to continue. If you didn't see that, click the link. You can watch that nice, short, succinct review of Matt Fraction and Jorge Jimenez's new Batman #1, all self-contained issues. Mike and I are drinking a non-alcoholic beer and whiskey, which is the way that if you can, you should drink your non-alcoholic beer with a whiskey chaser. And we're going to talk about what you should read on Marvel Unlimited. And one of the things you should read on Marvel Unlimited, well, we'll see if Mike agrees with me. I read this as it came out, and that was in 1988, so I would have been 12 years old. And this left an indelible mark on me. And
Suddenly,
this
that explains
is
everything.
this is Nick Fury versus Shield. So this is a 6-issue prestige format miniseries. Came out in '88. It's written by Bob Harris, penciled by Paul Neary, inker Kim DeMolder, colorist Bernie J, letterer Janice Chiang.
Any other stuff Bob Harris did? I meant to look that up, and I never did.
Bob Harris, I knew the name. I mean, I knew it obviously from this, but like when I read this, I didn't follow authors other than maybe Larry Hama, right? So, I mean, I'm 12. I read G.I. Joe,
Yeah,
Larry Hama's G.I. Joe. And I'm getting into X-Men and various, I'm cutting my teeth on various titles, right? Getting into the Marvel Universe. G.I. Joe's what brought me in. And I picked this up with issue #4. And for a long time, I only had 4 through 6. And then I finally got 1 through 3. So 4 was the first one I read. And no surprise, this is my favorite issue of the series. I just love this issue so much. But Bob Harris, the way I knew his name, he was actually the editor in chief from '95 to 2000 of
okay.
Marvel. That's how I knew his
That's why it
name.
sounds familiar.
So you saw his name on every book for 5 years or whatever. I don't, Mike. I just geek out over this. To talk to me. So this is the first time you read it. What did you think about it?
I didn't love it, but it wasn't bad. I had a tough time. I had the. I was very much reading this, going like, "This is Shawn getting back at me for making him read
Oh no, this is way
that
better
Morrison
than
one."
Millennium Project or whatever the fuck it's called.
My problem with it is like, it took me a couple issues to get into it. It took me a minute to go because like there's this whole thing like I'm sure you're aware of that GI Joe is based on Shield.
So yes, but talk about this because some of our listeners might not be.
So GI Joe is like the idea was one of the rumors or
Well,
facts or
80s GI
things
Joe,
out
not
there.
the original GI Joe.
80s GI
80s
Joe,
GI Joe.
yes. That they were pitching an idea to make basically this book into a cartoon series. And then that didn't pan out, so they kind of just rewrote Shield to be GI Joe. So that's why GI Joe's a secret organization. That's why they fight Cobra and the Hydra. Mars might as well be AIM. Some of these characters might as well be Joe's. General Hawk is Fury. Supposedly Snake Eyes was supposed to be Black Suit Spider-Man, but I don't know how true that is.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, so there's a little bit of like that was the groundwork. And when I remembered that halfway through this, I kind of got more into it because it's like,
Okay.
oh, I'm reading like a weird GI Joe type thing. I like the art. Um, like I like more of the art as the backgrounds, but I had a tough time knowing what the heck was going on with the whole Delta project. It took a while before they like I
Yeah.
know what LMD is because I'm in the comics. And I think that's a basic like life model decoy. It's been used a lot in Marvel comics when it's like, oh no, they killed that guy. Oh no, it wasn't Captain America, the life model decoy. It's okay. Um, and at first I was like, oh, it's just life model decoys. This is where it all got started. But then you reveal like, oh no, it's not life model decoys. But then it is life model decoys. And then there's like but they're not life model decoys. um, but back to the art, I really like the background art. Like this guy can draw like buildings and interior and these weird
Oh yeah.
cubes and these. this like whatever the heck's going on here with these like tractor beam and it's all like
Oh,
these
dude,
rays.
all of that art, all of the sci-fi art in there like
Yeah,
that is awesome.
I loved it, but he also just almost draws every guy to look the same.
Yes, they all are blonde hair, blue-eyed.
Yeah, like, and then like there's the one dude who I can't remember his name, but he had a headband on.
Yes, that was the only way I could tell them apart.
And they kept referring. He's a good looking cut dude. Looked like the main. I know Quartermain, like because his name's Quartermain. That's like a stick out name, and he died, and everyone was all sad. And I was like, who the heck is Quartermain?
Clay
But
Quarterman, I knew him from Peter David's run on Hulk, so I had to. I'm like rereading it. I'm like, wait a minute, and I'm sure I went through the same thing the last
yeah,
time I read it, where I'm like, I don't know.
and there's a couple of characters in here that I caught too, which I'll get to later. But like as far as like the dudes, they all look the same, except Nick Fury looked like Nick Fury. But every dude was like a handsome blonde dude, and the guy with the headband, who like Nick Fury kept making fun of for eating too many donuts, didn't look like he ate too many donuts. You
Yeah,
know what I
right. I
mean?
know, right?
He was cut and ripped, and he should have been kind of pudgy and just like every time they talked about him, like I had to picture him as someone else that made sense to me because
Yeah,
the art did not work for that character for me. He was just too like, oh, like these days, these Sundays, I only work on Sundays, and I only, I eat my Danish, and I have my newspaper, and that's my job for the last 20 years. Like, yeah, you don't look like that. You should have looked more like that. So in my head, I had to rewrite the way he looked in my head just to kind of make like, oh yeah, because he's kind of tubby looking.
right. I love so the basic premise here. It starts out with this thing, this power core, which is like the giant fusion or whatever device that they use to power the helicarrier, has crashed and they're trying to retrieve it. And of course, like in true, Fury is one of those Marvel Comics characters at this time that's a lot like Ben Grimm, where he's just kind of like a man's man, and like he's like descending into this like cavernous region in order to get the power core, which is too big for him to do anything by himself, right? And he's like got a cigar hanging out his mouth as he's like rappelling down into this wreckage. And then like up top, everybody's like, I've got our whole, team, our recovery team here, but Nick wouldn't let anybody go down and he goes down by himself. Spouting exposition as you do in
Yes,
Marvel Comics at this time, right?
so much exposition.
Yeah, it was just this is after Jim Shooter, but it's clearly still the Jim Shooter edict of like every comic could be somebody's first Marvel comic. And this was number four was my not, it wasn't my first Marvel comic, but it was definitely my first Nick Fury comic. So
Yeah,
at the time there wasn't an ongoing Fury title. Um, But so then things develop where Fury finds out that everybody in Shield is like basically against him, and he's got to go rogue, and they, deem him a national security threat. And the Avengers and they're not really in this. Tony Stark's in it in plain clothes for like a brief moment, but everybody's like on high alert for Nick, and nobody can believe it. But everybody's like, oh, did he go crazy? Did he turn? And it's Fury trying to he puts together and it's a term I hate, but it's appropriate, a ragtag group of, like he pulled the guy you're talking about. I can't think of his goddamn name. He pulls him out like he's been in deep cover for like 20 years and all like, yeah, like he's eats Danish and doesn't do anything. He's not active.
yeah.
So he's supposed to be out of shape and, um,
Where's that headband like a boss?
yeah, and they even end up with like the bloodthirsty Madam Hydra, as basically like an ally as they're going against Shield. And it is this, there's a shadowy council. It's literally a plot of these synthetics, which is weird because I'm also watching Alien Earth, which isn't great, but there's a lot of correlation. It was just a weird like,
Oh,
oh.
cool. When I first looked at it, you got the cover of number one here, and it's Contessa. Is it the
The
Contessa?
Countess.
Countess, the Baroness. right?
Yeah, why she's running around
and
topless with two revolvers in her panties, I don't know, but you know,
and like the beehive with the thing like almost like
Bride of Frankenstein. She
Frankenstein.
literally looks like a topless Bride of Frankenstein with pistols.
Yes, and I was like, oh, who the hell is that? And it didn't even occur to me till like the very last issue where they actually call her Valentine, that she was Juliette Lewis's character in
Oh
the
yeah,
Marvel universe.
yeah.
Like, oh, duh.
Which they totally changed that character, which is fine,
Yeah,
because in the you know the old '80s Fury lore, I mean, she's basically a Shield agent, but like her and Nick are like a couple, I guess. But she seems
yeah,
very uh, I don't know. She seems very one dimensional to me, and the little, like in this, she doesn't really do much other than be like worried about Nick.
yeah. It did seem like, I guess there's other books maybe she's a little more fleshed out, but in this she's just
Maybe.
like, oh no, well, I can't believe Nick is a bad guy. Oh no, what will I do? But I'm loyal to Shield.
Yeah, exactly. I love the
And
art in this.
there seemed to be, I like the artwork too, but there seemed to be a lot of people that were very loyal to Shield. Like, hey, these people I've never seen before in the shadow government tell me what to do, but
Yeah,
that's until they all get replaced.
right.
I was shocked that Jimmy Woo is in this also. Like, that's another character from the Marvel movie universe.
Oh, wait, I didn't.
Um,
I don't even remember him. Did he come in later,
he's
or was he in?
he's in WandaVision and Ant-Man,
I've
or
seen
Ant-Man 2.
WandaVision. I didn't see Ant-Man. Well, this led into a new Nick Fury Shield series, which I remember at the time I bought the first issue of, and then I don't even know where that is, and I didn't continue with it, and I didn't read anything prior, so other than like the few Garth Ennis Nick Fury series that I've read, who he is because he's in a ton of stuff.
Yeah, I think Nick Fury's one of those, like, I think he is, in my opinion, he is one of the more important characters in the Marvel universe. But at the same time, he's not a character like, he's like a man. He's the Marvel Universe Amanda Waller, so he's the go between the superheroes and
Yeah,
the real people basically. But he's not a character like I need to read. Although I did kind of enjoy this for some of the chuckles. Had a, I had a lot of chuckles with like the rad suit.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
And there was another rad comment in there, like it was like, oh, this has all the rads or something, and they're referring to radiation because they're cutting short to rads. But all I could think of was like 80, like rad.
Dude, also like okay, so the final issue, I think it's hysterical. The Fury
Oh,
basically does it in like a thong. Like, he's basically in a
like
thong for
they
the
put him in a.
entirety of the final battle and everything. I
It's
mean,
not even a thong. It's like it's got fishnet on top of it over
yeah,
his
like
chest,
I don't know what's going on here at all.
and he's on like a cross. But then they were like, you can't put him on a cross. You got so they took out the middle of the cross, and he's just floating
Yeah,
in like a hypothetical cross. Oh, there was another thing that made me laugh too in this. Like I think it was they're escaping the pod, like all the people are in the pod. I don't want to give away spoilers, people, because you should hunt this down and read it on what app?
Marvel Unlimited.
Yeah, I think the hardcover is still available too, you know?
It's well worth. I feel like if you like some '80s Marvel, it's well worth your time. If you've only read modern comics, you might be like, "What the hell?"
The ship. They come up to a girl in a pod and they give her like one of those like karate chops in the back, and she just goes like, oh, because she says like, and then rad, and you got all the rads. It's like it was just funny, like just that crucified Nick Fury in lingerie.
It's so bizarre. It's so bizarre. Crucified Nick Fury in lingerie. Yeah, I would say if you got Marvel Unlimited, look it up, read it, or if it's too verbose or
If you find
distracting,
it on sale, you
look at the
find
pretty
like a
pictures.
complete thing. Yeah, I think the art's Like the art's well worth the price of admission.
It really is.
That admission isn't that high.
It really is. I love all
Yeah.
the inking and the color, everything. It's just
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, okay. That's Nick Fury versus Shield, and this is Drinking with Comics. I'm Shawn.
I'm Mike.
Hi, I'm Shawn. Join me and my friends every week for the Horror Vision, where we talk about horror movies.